We've got to do it. If we're God's friends, friends to humanity, as God's servant of our own free will and accord, there's nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop me. I'm not afraid of them killing me. I can't let that stop me. Then we've got to do it. You've got to feel compelled to go out there and teach right from wrong on these matters and teach the implications of allowing this thing to fester and just get totally out of control like it already is. I mean, it's scary, the thought of turning this thing around with the Fed yelling, oh, no, no, that's the worst thing in the world. That would be a recession, they would say. So if your dollar went up in worth because your cost of living went down, they say that's terrible. That's recession. That your currency should actually increase in worth instead of decrease in worth. Because that's the only trajectory that is safe for the evildoers. Do you understand? That's how they keep you enslaved. That's how they keep stealing your wealth, the wealth of America, the wealth of the nation, from we the people, the productive class, and put it in their own pockets. I mean, this is, at this point in human history, this freaks me out, man. I mean, I'm just freaked out. I'm freaked out at what God is thinking, man. And how we've got to be at the precipice. We've got to be at the brink of some monumental biblical level sea change. And I want to be there. I want to witness. I want to be on the right side of history. But if it costs me my life, so be it. If it costs your life, so be it. And that goes to Trump too. You got to do something, man. You got to do something, man, if you're real, because I know you're not stupid. You can't play stupid with me, Trump. You could play stupid by me with all the rest of the American people, but not me, buddy. I know, and you know too, what it's going to take. And if you just keep on playing this game and riding this bubble and saying that's the answer, just keep diluting, debasing, deworthing the money, and keep this Ponzi scheme going, man. You're evil, and you know where you're headed from here. You got Hitler thumping you on the head day and night down there in Hades, buddy, because you know that's being traitorous to humanity, to the American people, and by extension, you're a traitor to God himself, because that's ungodly behavior. If God had his way, you know how it would be. God would share this planet. We have an inherent right to share in what belongs to our parents, God Almighty, the Creator, our owner, our divine parents. Okay, that should be our reality, and that reality is coming. And there will be a level playing field at the very finger, the very hand of God. And so just put that in your pipe and smoke it, man. That's what I got to tell you. All those problems in society, all those jobs that revolve around the problems persisting, that are threatened by the problems being fixed in the dubious warfare, dubious war, innocent men, women, and children being maimed and killed in war. I mean, God's got to witness that. Does it get worse than that? For money? Satan's ambrosia for Satan? All the minions and all the politicians and the money printers, they're all in on it. They're all colluding. The least culpable are those at the very bottom, the pawns. But remember, you can still end up in hell too. Now, those are the people I'm trying to reach. Don't squeak into hell, buddy. I mean, jump ship. So bail from this status quo establishmentarian beast system, man. Get on the right side of history. Get on God's side. Get on humanity's side. Let's unify and come against these a-holes. Be powerful in the spirit of the Lord and parent these a-holes. We've got to do something. If we don't, we're culpable. We're remiss, and we will answer for that. Just like Jesus said, whatsoever you do or fail to do. So we commit a lot of transgressions, okay, through remission, just being indifferent and complacent toward this unnecessary, key term, unnecessary suffering of other human beings. It's evil, man. The days are evil. And only God can help us to see and then help us to extricate ourselves from this mess, because we are in a freaking whole hell of a lot of trouble, man. The abortions, because of people that they can't afford their babies. I mean, just think what God has to witness. This national debt, this is all part of this. The impoverishment of the people. You get rid of the poverty, you get rid of the national debt. All those people out, 25% of Americans employed in the financial services industry, their jobs would be in jeopardy. So what am I saying? I'm going to take everybody's job that revolved around the problem? No, you're going to work a lot less, and you're going to have plenty of money, plenty of prosperity, plenty of freedom, plenty of security, more, greater sense of security. That's it, man. I mean, I'm not a threat to anybody. Neither is God. If you get it, if you're logical and reasonable and intellectual and willing to do the math, it's all coming up roses for you and me and everybody else. I watched this show Chips. Remember the California Highway Patrol? I enjoy it. I kind of like the acting between Ponch and his partner John, but it's somewhat entertaining. I hate the music they play. I can't. I mean, what are they thinking? They need, if they can get rid of some of that music, they ought to do it because they're still showing these shows. But the overall message I get, I like. These guys out there for highway safety and all that. But I like Eric Estrada, Ponch and his partner. But sometimes it's touching and somber. For the most part, it's kind of comical, and I can't, it can't hold my interest always. But I just think it's kind of cute. But I am a proponent of highway safety, even though I've gotten my share of speeding tickets. Everybody heard this story, probably, this woman that swallowed her wedding ring during a vivid dream. It's like I talked about. I mean, dreams can be every bit as real as reality. So she did it, and she remembered it. That's funny that she remembered it, but just kind of an interesting tidbit. This woman at the California State Senate, she poured blood, her own blood, they say, from because she's protesting forced vaccination of children. Good for her. I mean, I wouldn't do it like that. I think that's over the top. I don't think she needed to do that, but she needed to get the attention of the press somehow. Indignation usually does a trick. Just get mad as hell and make sure everybody knows that, yeah, she's right to be mad as hell. It's very draconian, this idea of forced vaccinations for all the kids with very, very limited numbered exemptions. I mean, it's the stupidest thing in the world. We got these teachers strike, General Motors strike, and all this. Teachers always crying about not getting paid enough. But anybody sticking up for the minimum wage worker? I don't see a lot of that. I met a guy once that had 11 children from 8 different women. And, a lot of guys think, oh, well, lucky guy, man. He was sure getting laid a lot and all. Look at the price this guy. I mean, I don't envy a guy like that. Jealousy and envy are two different things. There's a pure form of jealousy. It says that God is a jealous God. But there's an impure form that we conflate with envy, and that's not. When you resent somebody for you covet what they have, and I can't see it. But jealousy, it's very normal. I mean, if a man is jealous, he sees his wife, and she's talking to another guy, and maybe she's a bit flirtatious, and you always feel a certain, but it's a healthy form of jealousy. It kind of keeps a guy on his toes, and vice versa, I guess. But it's normal. God, it's the kind of jealousy God understands, because he fawns over us in a jealous manner. He wants his spirit to dwell within us, and not the spirit of this world. So it's a very normal, healthy jealousy. There is that good, pure, very human, natural jealousy that we all experience. We all know. It can be good. It can be good. It's okay to have that tension between a couple. But envy and resentment and the covetousness that some guys display with a Messiah complex. Oh, the woman's not right. Oh, she's complaining about her husband. I don't fix this little lady. She just needs a piece of me. And so there's a lot of these guys out there with all the fish in the sea. There's always these guys that want what they know is taboo. They shouldn't have, can't have, but they can't help them. So I'm glad I've never been one of those guys. They're called home wreckers. And, women do the same thing too. So it works both ways. All right, friends, I'm on to some, I wasn't going to gush about Lauren, this lady I'm trying to get to meet, but I talked about her earlier, and I just I want to leave her alone and try to stop thinking about her so much, because it makes me a little nuts, and I'll leave it at that. I'm carrying the torch for her. She's worth it. She's a great prize, and I really hope to meet her face to face someday. But so I'll just leave it at that. Anyhow, I am going to go on to some thoughts from the last week or two.